Psalm 92. Now, you want to do a beautiful devotional? Just do the Psalms of the week. You know, we buy all those little devotionals in the Christian stores. I used to do that a long time ago. And I never got anything out of it. It was an excuse for me to spend $15. You know, and we have devotionals through the temple service. I tell you what better way to do something that is already ordained by Yahweh? You will be blessed. Now, what's interesting, there is a tradition amongst the rabbis. You find this in the Zohar. It tells you that some of the Psalms, certain particular Psalms, if you sing them on a particular mode of music, it can bring healing to your body. Let me repeat that again. There's a tradition amongst the rabbis that they believe that the Psalms, if you sing them, can bring healing to your bodies, to a certain part of your bodies. I thought I was really way out of left field until I started doing this research. And the technology that we're going to go into pretty soon. It's interesting. Now, the 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 of each tribe. We're talking about 144,000, correct? Are you guys having fun so far? It's going to get interesting. Are you learning something new? Praise the Lord. Now, somebody came and told me once, oh, the book of Revelation is symbolic. It's not really real. Symbolic. And I said, incorrect, my friend. I said, well, how can you be sure? Oh, through the genealogy. See, in the Bible, as a Torah teacher, I will tell you, in the Bible, when you read the Torah, if the genealogy is out of order, pay attention. Take notice. Because Yahweh is trying to give you a message within the names. See, in the Hebrew language, names mean something. You have a destiny. You live by your name. So what did they do during the Inquisitions of Spain? They tried to convert the Hebrews, the Jews, out of Spain. The first thing they did, they changed their names. You change their identity. They no longer have a destiny according to Yahweh. Now they have a destiny according to the Catholic Church. And they will give them names of colors, places, and animals. Or whatever they lived. Talk about really putting them through the mud. Okay? So anyway, here we see that the firstborn of Israel is not Judah, it's Reuben. But also there are two tribes missing. We have the tribe of Dan and Ephraim. Then you have the tribe of Joseph put in there. So therefore there's a message there. See? So Judah, praise. Reuben, see a son. Gad, a troop. Asher, happy. Naphtali, wrestling. Manasseh, made to forget. Simeon, hearing. Levi, joined. Issachar, for hire. Zebulun, dwelling. Joseph, add to me. Benjamin, son of the right hand. Now I got a little something to tell you here away from this teaching. Remember when Yaakov, he crossed his hand when he was praying for Manasseh and Ephraim? We know there has to be a blessing, right? Why, in my opinion, why do you think he crossed their hands? It has to do with the names, in my opinion. See, Manasseh means made to forget. Ephraim means be fruitful. Get it? So if you were to give the blessing to made to forget, it had to be to someone who's made to be fruitful. You get it? And that's the key. You see, you will get the definitions and the riddles will get them answered through the Hebrew names. Because you wonder, why did he do that? Well, we know there's always been a change. Instead of the firstborn, the secondborn always have the blessing. We know that. We got Esau and Jacob, we have Ishmael, we have Isaac, we have all those things. But in this particular one, it's very interesting because he crosses his hand in the last minute. Why? Because is he going to give the blessing to a guy whose name is made to forget? Now imagine if that would have happened and the tribes of Manasseh would have been in the dispersion. Truly, they would have been lost. But because it's Ephraim, it means to be fruitful, they're not done away. They're scattered. They're not completely lost. You know? Does that make sense? A little side note there. Deuteronomy 32 will be the second song of Moses, and the 144,000 that have the testimony of Yeshua and keep the commandments of Yahweh will sing the truth in the last days. We know that. It's going to be in the Hebrew language. Have we established that? So now we have to investigate some other principles about music. Because now we're going to answer what it has to do with music. Right? We established it's going to be in Hebrew. But now we got to understand this. And in the temple, they have music. How many of you know who Nikola Tesla is? Okay. Nikola Tesla, as you know, was one of the greatest scientists in the last 200 years. This guy has more patents than anybody else. See the electricity you have today? He's the one who really came up with it. It wasn't Edison. He worked for Edison. Him and Marconi worked for him. You know, he came up with all this stuff. By the way, there's a theory. I don't know if this is true, but it's a theory that, you know, the atomic bomb supposedly, or the meteor that hit Russia in 1917. Have you guys ever heard about that? Okay. Supposedly, it wasn't really a meteor. It was Tesla playing around with some kind of laser beams. And he went a little too far, and he made that destruction. They do have that technology. There's some technology happening right now that has been around for the last 70 years, and you never heard of them. One of them is frequency in the water, on how the frequency in the water, the right frequency, can heal your body. Wow. Pharmaceutical companies will not like that at all. You know? All right, now, how many of you knew that the original music mode that I believe the temple service used to use was not do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do? You know? Now, we know that there were some certain things, but Tesla says something very interesting. He goes, if people would know the power of the 3, 6, and 9s. I never understood that, and I'm still learning it, okay? So I'm going to just do my best to attempt to explain it to you to the best of my ability, all right? And I'm sure some people who are going to be watching this on DVD can do a better job than me. By the way, I have provoked people to go back and verify it. And they found some incredible things. One of them is one gentleman who's a Messianic believer in Washington State. He did a test on the breastplate, on the stones of the breastplate of the high priest, the ephod. And what he found is that each stone emits a particular frequency. The colors emit frequency. Now, what's interesting is that in the temple service, when Yahweh needed to talk to the people, or when the people of Israel wanted to wage war against somebody else, they sent the high priest to go speak to the priest. And he would take the Urim and the Thummim. There are two stones. And then, therefore, it comes I don't know how it happened, but supposedly a light used to resonance through the Urim and the Thummim into the light here. And then inside the stones, you had the names of the children of Israel. You had the letters in Hebrew. And supposedly, each letter, according to the Torah anthology and some of the other rabbinical books, the letters would come out like a 3D type thing. And it tells them, don't go to war, or go off to war, or whatever. Now, that's particularly interesting, isn't it? Because we're seeing that technology right now. Have you been to the movies? 3D movies? That's already existed. Now, there's some secrets there that we don't know. Only the high priest will know. No wonder the guys who came up with the atomic bombs were the sons of Aaron. They're the only ones who can go in and worship Yahweh in the Holy of Holies. By the way, they have a distinct DNA Y chromosome that no one else has in the world. The sons of Aaron, they are distinct. They have a Y chromosome marker in the DNA that nobody else has. And they already identify them, and they're preparing the ones already for getting ready for the temple service. It's exciting times. It's exciting times. I don't know if I'm one of them, you know, but I'm not going to get it done. You know, because whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm with Messiah, it doesn't really matter. But it's interesting. I might change my mind later, though. So, anyway, by the way, let me show you something now that I'm talking about the breastplate. Okay? Do you know that when you take the Hebrew names of the children of Israel, see, to put on the breastplate, they added the names of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on the matriarchs, the letters, to complete 6 letters for each stone. But in the names of the children of Israel alone, the 2 letters are not found. The letter Chet and the letter Tet, which make up the word for sin. Correct? Those 2 letters are not found in any of the 12 tribes of Israel. So the breastplate was pure. There was no sin. That's why Yeshua was perfect. The Urim and the Thummim. The Urim means light. The Thummim means perfection. The first and the last. Yeshua was light and he was perfection. Everything is a teaching in the temple. See, people look at the book of Leviticus. To me, it's my favorite book. There's so much to learn in the book of Leviticus. It's incredible. Every time I read it, I have to circumcise my heart. Every time we get to the Torah portion and we start by Yikra, go, okay, Yahweh. It's going to be a long month. Because every week you're going to be talking to me something about my heart. Cutting places in my heart. You know, getting rid of some of the old habits and come back and circumcise my heart. I guarantee you, if you go through a whole Torah, a year Torah portion, and you're reading the book of Leviticus and you're studying the book of Leviticus, if you don't come out a new man after that month, there's something wrong with us, there's rebellion.